let's roll. Annie, would you please do roll call for us?
I will. Sorry, just 1 second. Okay, try it again. It looks like online, Chris Lounsbury, Christina DeVar, and in the room, Dave Strohmeyer, Erica Grinde, Jesse Baresh, MCAT, Mel Fisher, and Michael Lynn Grimmett, Shannon Terrio, and Tammy Adams. In 206, we have Commissioner Slotnick and Vero. We have Jacob Allington, Anna Kathy, Ann Hughes, and also Christina Tamar with us here. I think that's it.
All right. Thanks, Annie. And as is probably top of mind for folks, we did have a bit of a storm wind event yesterday. So later on under discussion items, we can talk about that along with our wildfire update if there is anyone who can update us on any of that. So in the meantime, though, let's just roll through our agenda here. Is there any public comment on items not on today's agenda? Okay, seeing none, we have a consent agenda with 2 items on it. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda?
We passed consent agenda.
Second.
Any further discussion or public comment on the 2 items on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda is approved. We have 1 action item today. Chris, are you out there? This is a resolution to amend the FY25 elected official pay to correct errors in total salary calculations.
Yes, I am here. Thanks, Commissioner Strohmeyer. So what you have before you today is a resolution to update elected official pay. The spreadsheet that we used for calculating that had a rounding error in it, and it had 1 elected official's pay, the clerk and recorder treasurer, which did not update the rate. In general, the rounding error resulted in an average of about $11 in difference between what was originally published and what was showing up on these. And that's because it was rounding not to 2 cents, but was rounding to 4 cents. And then when you multiply that across 2,080 hours, it had that slight miscalculation. So we just wanted to get this resolution before you today so that the resolution that's recorded for elected official pay has all of the correct information in it. And my apologies, we thought we had double-checked all of the math, but clearly I missed this miscalculation that resulted in that for the elected officials.
Thank
Okay,
you.
that was
Thanks for catching
that was
it.
eagle eye on behalf on the part of whoever caught that. So, should we do it?
Yeah, that would be our crack HR staff. So,
Thank you, crack HR staff.
Yeah.
I move to approve I move that the chair sign the amendment.
I'll second that.
Oh, no, I said this wrong.
It's the whole board, yeah.
I am looking at the wrong.
We are
What am I looking
approving
at?
a resolution
Yeah.
to amend the official pay.
Yeah, I move that we approve the resolution to amend the official pay.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing or public comment out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Okay. It is a done deal. So we have no correspondence today. We have a handful of discussion items, mainly budget enhancement requests, but I'm assuming this would be you, Chris, since I don't see Adrian on the line here. Do you want to provide an update both on storm recovery and then also anything in the world of wildfire?
yeah, you bet, commissioners. And yes, I will pitch it here for Adrian, who, as one can imagine, is quite busy. So as everyone knows, we had a fairly large storm event go through Missoula County yesterday, resulting in significant damage to trees and power lines across the county. We do know that we have thousands of folks currently without power. Northwestern Energy, Missoula Electric Co-op, and others have literally dozens and dozens of crews out working to restore power. But we do still have significant outages in the center of Missoula, the city of Missoula, out to the west in the Frenchtown area, to the south a little bit in the Lolo area. Seems to be concentrated largely in the city. Oops, did I get bounced?
We temporarily lost you there, Chris.
Oh,
But you're back.
sorry about that. Hopefully I'm back. So I was just saying, most of the damage seems to be concentrated in and around the city, but there was damage out in the county. We did have public works crews out all last night, heavily hit in the Sealy area, assisting with tree removal and those kinds of things. And so we are working hard to get those out of the way so that Northwestern and the other providers can restore service to folks. That did impact county operations. A lot of our county departments are closed today because significant portions of Missoula are without power. However, the courthouse is open, Justice Court, District Court, and the Clerk and Recorder Treasurer's office are all open to the public. The District Court Clerk's office and the Sheriff's office are closed to the public today, but otherwise, most of our staff are working remote because of the outage. Just to give folks a really quick last bit on that piece related to the storm damage before we jump over to wildland fires. If folks are experiencing an emergency, we do of course encourage them to call 911, but if they're at this point just reporting lines down that are not currently carrying electricity, they can just go ahead and report those directly to Northwestern Energy for folks, as our 911 system does continue to see really high call volume because of the storm front that passed through. Questions on the storm before we jump to wildland fire?
Questions? I did get a call from Representative Zinke's office this morning offering assistance, so we will keep them in touch as the need arises.
Yeah, thank you. And I should also highlight for the commissioners, we will bring a resolution to you for an emergency declaration, but I did ask the chair verbally to authorize an emergency declaration for Missoula County so that we can capture costs should there be enough damages that federal money becomes available.
Thanks. Erica, did you want to add anything?
Just briefly, in addition to the public works crews, just so that the commission and public are aware, our own facilities crews are obviously checking in on all county facilities. So far, we are aware that there are, it looks like more than 100 trees down at Larchmont. And then the fairgrounds, I would be happy to share just so you all can see what our beautiful archway.
Oh
was taken
no!
out. Yeah, so I just, mostly I want the public to be aware, you all to be aware, we've got work ourselves. And of course, I'm working closely with them to capture damages and make sure all of it gets repaired. And we'll keep you apprised if we reach a level to report it to our property insurance. That is $100,000 retention for a single event. Usually we think about that being at one building, but this storm is a single event. So I'll keep you posted.
I'm going to add to Erica's thing just to say though, but the cement grandstand's still there.
Yeah, I don't think the other ones would have been there. So
I don't either. That's why I was highlighting it. I think those old wooden ones might not
Have been maintained through the
Chris, trees on top of down power lines in an area where there's no electricity.
Yep.
Don't go near the tree.
Yep. As always, when you see down power line, you should assume it's live until you know for sure that it does not carry electricity in it. And so you should treat it as a live electricity line, in which case you should call 911 if you don't know. And they will tell you whether or not it's already been reported if they already are aware of it. But again, if you're aware, all your neighbors are without power, it's been going on for a long time, you know that the line is discharged because somebody has come by and told you, hey, we know it's off, just report it through Northwestern Energy at that point. But if you're not sure, call 911 because it is always better safe than sorry. That is a really good point. Thanks, Commissioner Slotnick. Strohmeyer's this way.
Good advice. Anything else on storm damage or recovery?
I would also add that our comm staff is working hard to get information out to the media, and there's some really good info being shared, including that the Red Cross is staffing the election center starting at 10 a.m. Today until 8 p.m. And that's to provide some air conditioning and some electricity for folks who need to charge devices. And that's all I got. There's more in there.
I thought, so election center is back up now. Because I thought that it was
The elections office does not have power, but the elections center where you go and turn in your ballot during an election, the big building.
The big green building.
That does have power because it is
Okay.
on a generator. Should there be a disruption during an election, we have to continue operations there.
Of course,
So
yes.
people can bring devices to get charged there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on from wind damage to wildfire.
You bet. And so I don't have a ton of updates. I did talk to Adrian this morning. Seems like the Miller Peak fire, which was largely getting to containment, those lines did hold through last night.
Wow.
It seems like. And so that is good news. It seems like the Butler Creek fire, which was getting close to being buttoned up, also held last night, which again is good news. So we don't have those going. We did obviously take, as part of the storm, significant number of lightning strikes, but most of those areas got rain. So we're hoping that buys us a day or two before we see fires pop, but we just don't know. So we will be monitoring that closely here over the next couple of days when those lightning pops could start showing up as fires. Did have some, as part of the storm, we did have some new starts. Most of those, it sounds like, were contained pretty quickly, and most of those were in and around the city. So again, fortunately not in large open areas where there were lots of fuels for them to really take off, but they are monitoring that situation closely. And that's the best update I can give you as far as that goes. And hopefully Adrienne will have a more peaceful next evening. She was out until 4:30 this morning and then back out at 6. So they are running to keep up with as many things as they can, but they had a very busy night.
Hey, can I just add up a fun thing here?
Yeah.
So last night I was stuck for a couple hours on Blue Mountain Road between fallen trees, multiple fallen trees with multiple other cars stuck there. And I have to say it was great to see people being so kind to each other, pulling trees out of the way, working together, neighbors coming down with chainsaws, everybody friendly, laughing about it, good humored, just being great. It was great to see people be kind to each other when they don't even know one another.
That is awesome.
Nothing like a good crisis to bring out the best in people. So.
It's true. It's totally true, Dave. It's totally true.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for him to follow that with a snarky comment and saying that it's only gonna last 4 hours.
Well,
But I shouldn't have said anything. We want
so
to.
there is that, and I restrained myself when I saw the arch and what was left of it, and there's a comment to be made there too. But anyway, moving on. We've got a couple budget enhancement presentations today, and that begins with foster child health as it's written on the agenda. Who's presenting on this?
Me.
Shannon.
Hi.
Okay, Shannon.
Hi, everybody. Yeah,
These
so
foster children trying to get septic systems.
no, just still, just still pitch hitting kind of for
I was
people.
easy.
People who have other things. Yeah. So there's actually really good news on the foster child health front. We have talked about this with the commissioners a number of times, but we were awarded money from the Community Assistance Fund grant. I want to thank everybody in the room and online who helped advocate for that, because that is pretty significant. And so that grant didn't quite capture all of our expenses for that, but it did pay the direct salary costs for 0.5 position. And so what it didn't pay was the increase that was negotiated by the union and the fringe. And so that's what we're reducing our request to. I'll just note that this is the only enhancement request for the health department this year, and it's a really important program to us. So the county portion of our ask has decreased from $21,524 to $6,833. So obviously that's 40% of what we need for the fringe and the salary increase, which total is $17,000. And so the rest we're asking for from the city. We have talked about the foster child health program a number of times, and so I won't go into a ton of detail, but just for everybody who's listening and just to remind you, why we think this is such a critical program. The entire program is a 0.8 public health nurse. That public health nurse pulls together often really disjointed and missing medical records for children who are entering foster care. They also work to pull together and coordinate often really complicated care plans. As you can imagine, many children who are going into foster care have chronic medical and behavioral health conditions that have often been preceded by maltreatment. These kids really do face significant health care barriers. And so our public health nurse does these things to pull information together and then pull a care plan together and then offers assistance to the new foster family to really understand the behavioral needs and medical needs of the kid that is the foster child. This program works in conjunction, but is really different but works in conjunction with their initial visits to public health, Partnership Health Center. All foster kids who initially go into foster care do get an initial evaluation from Partnership Health Center, and then also their caseworkers. So this is an added service that is really critical and has been evaluated twice and has shown very positive outcomes for these, some of our most critical kids with the most critical needs. So we hope that you can be supportive of our little under $7,000 increase for this program.
Thanks, Shannon. Any questions for Shannon?
No.
Glad it CAF worked out and
Yeah.
the remainder is so small.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your help on that.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Shannon. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Next, a couple items from Justice Court. Who is out there who wants to present on this?
Andy Holloway.
Ah,
I think I was first on the list the last time we were on here, so I might as well be first now.
okay.
We are presenting or requesting a supplement for technological needs for the domestic violence court coordinator. So the grant that funds her position does not fund the peripherals or incidentals. So our request is for a computer and then for ongoing county servicing of that computer and telephone. It's $5,900 the first year, $3,900 going forward is what the numbers were computed to be. But that's the long and the short of it.
It's outrageous.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments?
Well, that's the DV court. Do we want to go into the enhancements for road court?
Yes, we absolutely can. Thank you, Judge Beal, for that.
Thank you, Judge.
Pithy pitch. Okay, thank you.
And so part of the enhancements that we're asking for from Justice Court also is to bring road court into more of a sustainability program. I mean, we've been around for about 7 years now, a little over $1 million. We brought in on grants. And so chasing those grants sometimes becomes a little difficult. What we've are proposing is that we turn one of our vacant FTEs into a hard funded road court coordinator. So that would not increase anything. It just transfers over using the staff that we, the FTE that we already have. However, we're asking for an enhancement to fund the software program, which was a case management program, the amount of $1,800. And then we do what's called a risk and needs assessment that we have to pay for as well as part of the program, and that's $1,250, $1,250. And then in addition to that there's the cell phone and the house phone. Our court coordinator communicates on such a regular basis with all of the participants that are in the road court program that is part of an essential an expense for the program. And then there are some general operating expenses that cover the office supplies and some of the computer supplies for $1,000 we're asking for. And that's for a total of $5,200 for the budget year. I just want to kind of highlight that we've had like 53 graduates. We've saved, reallocated resources from incarceration just to the tune of a little over $200,000. And so we're hoping you would improve that enhancement, both for DV court and road court, as we continue to provide these evidence-based kind of progressive alternative to incarceration, and hopefully getting people's behaviors changed, but yet holding them accountable.
Thank you, Judge Holloway. Questions from anyone?
No, it sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you all for those extravagant and completely lavish requests that you brought before us today. So,
Frivolous and extravagant.
How can you say no?
Exactly.
Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much. Anything else from anyone? I think that's all I've got on our agenda today.
Commissioners, just a quick update. We did hear back from the applicant. They are fine with the 2 o'clock public meeting being virtual as well, due to wanting to keep as many folks as we can out of the congested traffic given the power situation. The applicant was fine with that. We do have a notice posted over in Sophie Moise in case anybody shows up. We have put it out to the media as well as through social channels for folks in case they were planning on coming to that public hearing today at 2 o'clock that we're asking them to attend virtually. That includes a phone number for folks who also may be experiencing power challenges around that, so they can call in from a phone. They don't necessarily need the Teams application or a laptop in order to be able to participate. So
Great. And so who from our office is staffing that? Annie, Christina, both of you?
Christina and Mel.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, thanks everyone. We'll see you virtually at 2 p.m.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.